Okay, we're going to show you some of the preliminary setup that's involved prior to even making an order. And the reason why you want this stuff set up is obviously for so that the user experience is seamless and so that the system doesn't produce any errors because of any missing information. Most of what you're going to see here you might not have in your portal because I'm using a full demo version that includes the showroom and the cleaning modules together. So there's going to be a number of items in here that we're just going to ignore for the case of showing you the cleaning module. So first of all, we're going to go into our settings. As you can see, there's a number of options here. Some are going to be visible with cleaning and some are going to be visible with the showroom module, but for the most part we can go into the portal settings. Some of this stuff is going to also be set up when you register your portal, but if you wanted to come in here and change things, you can. This is where you would do that kind of stuff. So first of all, you want to put in your business information. So this is your tax ID. It can be whatever it is based on your jurisdiction, whatever kind of business number you are given. This is also, you're given the option for this to appear on your invoice as well. Your company profile, this is read-only because this is what gets registered when you create your profile. Company logo, this can be changed at any time. Simple process of uploading an image. And company locations, we're only going to concern ourselves about one location for now, but it is there's multi-location support. The next thing you're going to set up is we're going to skip app mode right now. I'll show you what that is later. Payment terminals, you're going to want to create all the payment terminals that you use in your building. So this is essentially your point of sale machines. So anywhere you're going to take payment for something. So in this example, we'll have a cash and carry desk where people coming in off the street can pick up and drop off their rugs. There'll be a payment terminal there. There might be one in the office. There might be one with pickup and delivery crews. You can create as many of these as you want. Very simple to edit. It's just a name. Simple as that. Your application defaults you're going to want to set as well. Prior to setting this up, you're going to have to set up your tax type first and your terms, which we'll get into as well. Default unit of measure, this is obviously important. If you are operating in the United States, imperial is what you would want to choose. There's also the option to go metric. And signature is something that you also might want to add if you are using the appraisal functionality. If you are doing appraisals, this is where you would add your signature to add to the bottom of your appraisal certificate. All the formatting in here pertains to the showroom, so we don't have to worry about that for now. Theme is just simply if you want to change the color. Right now I have indigo, as you can see the blue, and orange are my feature buttons. And don't worry about documents. This is for uploading and downloading showroom items. So the next section here is in more settings. So this is where you can start to customize what appears throughout your application and how you want the information represented. The first part has to do with the customer name. So when the customer has a company name associated with it, how do you want it to treat how the name gets displayed? Do you want it just the company name, or you just want company name and then the last name? So I'm going to choose company name and the last name. And then what about customers that don't have a company name? Do you want it listed as first name, last name, first name, last name, first name, etc., etc.? So I'm going to use last name, first name. There's also the ability to add custom fields throughout the system, but we'll get into that later. This is where you would choose to display your tax ID on your invoice, which most people will do. Down at the bottom here we have custom templates for your invoice. So this pertains specifically to the cleaning module. And we'll get to what this looks like on your invoice when we go through the order. But these are the general groupings of how you want your rug cleaning to be represented on your invoice. So each rug will be broken down into your cleaning price, your repair price, and your treatment price, for example. Anything that's outside of these three groupings would be listed as an other. So this is all customizable to your liking. The next area we're going to go into is list management. There are a number of items that you're going to have to set up in your list management. List management is essentially anything that is a list in your system that you have to refer to. That is outside of any factory built-in lists. Your category settings are going to be required for when you set up your products and services. So you can see that there are some system defaults in here. This is for showroom, obviously. You can see the showroom here. But I've set up other categories in here for cleaning, repair, treatments, for example, appraisal. Appraisal is a system default. Accounts we'll come back to later. Payment methods you're going to want to set up in order to create an order. So this is just any types of payment that you accept. Amex, cash, Visa, MasterCard. You might also want to add debit. Zones, departments, and positions we'll come back to later. Tax and terms, this is something you also have to fill out. So right now I just have a tax rate in or sales tax rate in there I put in as 10.25%. This can be anything you want depending on your region. And the terms that you also want to activate. Standard is 210 net 30. Some other functionality down here at the bottom we'll get into when it comes to rug properties for appraisals. We'll come back to that when we cover appraisals. In other, there's lead sources and customer type. These are already in the system by default, but you can add anything to this list. So these are just how customers first heard about you, so that you can generate reports later on based on what your best lead generators are. And customer type, this is a classification for your different customers. So each customer that you put into the system, you might want to classify them as a certain type. And this is important because if you want to broadcast out to these groups at a later date, based on certain promotions or announcements that you'd like to make, then breaking it down by these categories would help. And this, you can add to this as much as you like. Another item that you might want to build in here is building type. This helps for when you're determining your pickup and delivery service. It's good to have the crew get a heads up, or the dispatcher have a heads up as to what type of dwelling you're dealing with. And the other item here is bin list. We'll get into this when we go through the workflow process. It's a little bit more involved, so we'll come back to this. Also under settings, you'll find rules. This allows you to establish different types of rules and permissions for your different staff. Workflow, which we'll come back to when we go through the workflow process. And then this is just a breakdown of your RugSimple account. We're now going to go through the basics of an order. So before we do that, we're going to have to set up a few more things, not pertaining to the portal, but just pertaining to your information, customers and products and services. You might see again that there are items on in this package that I'm using that are more than what you're used to seeing in your portal. That's because I'm using a demo package that has the full premium package for showroom and cleaning module. So first we're going to start by setting up some products and services. When we go to products and services, we have the full list of all the products and services that we provide. You have the ability to create any one of these services. And we're just going to walk through what it is and how they should be set up. Say I'm going to create a cleaning for premium wash, which might be just a special type of wash. The abbreviation is going to be created for you if it is a cleaning item. Abbreviations basically allow the system to use abbreviated codes so that you can pack in more information elsewhere in the system. As you can see here with this pop-up, C will equal cleaning. You can always override this if you wanted to, and it's usually kept about 4 characters, but you can see how that will kick in later. Don't worry about workflow for now. Description and notes, those are if you want to give some detailed information. If you have an extensive product and services list, some of your employees might need to get a better understanding of what it is that service does or means. So classification is either inventory, non-inventory, or service. Inventory is obviously anything that has a count. Non-inventory is something that you don't necessarily want to count. And a service is an intangible good that you're going to sell. So in this case, cleaning is an intangible good. The category clearly is a cleaning category. These are the categories that we set up in the previous example, or the previous video for which is basic setups. So I'm going to choose cleaning. Currently there's no subcategory, but you can break this down into further and further categories. Then I want to choose the location where this service is provided. So in this case, I'm going to choose my first primary location, LP, in this case standing for Lincoln Park in Chicago. And I need to ask myself, is this service applicable to a rug? Meaning, when this service happens, is it happening to an individual rug? In this case, yes. When you clean a rug, you're cleaning a rug. An example of where this wouldn't apply would maybe an extra person for delivery. So in that case, it doesn't necessarily apply to a specific rug. It's more order level. So in this case, it's going to be applicable to a rug. Then we have the option to make it an estimate, or is it a fixed price? Currently, with estimate unchecked, fixed price is active. If I was to check this, then we move into a range. And what this range does is allows me to put an allowable range into the order system so that the salesperson can choose what price within that range they want to sell for. That is because sometimes if you have a certain type of repair, for example, that repair is going to vary in price, even though it might be a hand fringe, for example. A hand fringe could be on a very delicate rug with a high knot count, or it could be a very coarse rug. So the amount of work is going to vary within a certain range. In this case, because we're talking about cleaning, I'm going to throw in a cleaning price here. So say my premium cleaning, let's make a lot of money here and say $5, and my unit of measure is going to be per square foot. Minimum charge is grayed out because the minimum charge is set by the category. And then I also have to choose my tax for this product. So I'm going to say my sales tax, which is what I put into my tax location. And let's save that. Okay. So now my premium wash is in here. Now that we have some of these set up, and if you set them up incorrectly, not a big deal. We come back and we modify things so that it's the data is being pulled to the order the way that you need it to be pulled. Next, we're going to go through the process of actually creating an order, but first we need to set up a customer. So we go to Customer, Menu Item. You'll be given the simple customer list. Anything that is generated in these lists throughout the program will tend to rank any recent active file towards the top. So in this case, this person was most likely last activated on, whether added to an order or what have you. So that's why it's listed at the top. You can also do a quick search for any person in the list, first name or last name, doesn't matter. So we're going to add to the list, and the first thing you're going to get prompted to is a validation of phone number or email. So this is to make sure that the data integrity of your database is held. The last thing you want is multiple entries of customers that are the exact same person. So the first thing you're going to do is check the phone number. So I'm going to put in 777-333-8888. And it's telling me that there is no customers found with that phone number. So I can go next. Then you'll be shown a simple customer edit page. The options here will grow as you save the file, but for now let's start to fill out the information. So we have Mrs. K, or you can put the full name, last name, Oxley, company name you can put it in, name on check that you want, but that more pertains to the showroom module. Display name, as you enter here, it's going to ask you, do you want to change the display name from K to Boxley K? You say yes. Display name is very important to maintain because when you start to synchronize, or if you're going to synchronize with QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Online uses the display name as their primary key. So that's why it's very, very important to make sure that that is working properly. You can also put in a permanent attention for this person. So if it's a house staff that you always work through, even though Mrs. K is the primary bill payer or the primary customer, she might ask you to work through Nancy, who is the house staff. That way you know to refer to or ask for Nancy if that's the case. Simply put in an address, 777 Road Avenue. You can put unit number 55, city, Chicago. Because we are using a portal that is set up in Chicago, the state is automatically defaulting to Illinois, and the country automatically defaults to the United States. Postal code, you can put in anything you want. It's not really controlled, just because there's too many variations to put in the zip code. Building type, you choose that so the pickup and delivery crew know what they're getting into. Buzz code, if you know it, you can store those in there as well. Major intersection, Zone A and Zone B will be coming later. So right now this is their home number. If this happens to be their work number, you can move it here. You can add work number, mobile number, fax number, email address. Okay, boxley@someemail.com. And any website associated with company, customer type. This is where you can choose your customer type and how they heard about you, word of mouth, and then we're going to want to save that. So as you can see, as it's been saved, there are a lot more options here, and we'll go through some of these. Payment and billing. The customer is always defaulted as due upon receipt. If you wanted to turn this into an accounts receivable, then you would simply choose accounts receivable and you would choose the terms. So you can set up different terms if you'd like. If their billing address is always different from their pickup delivery address, then you can click here and override this information. This is the information pulled in from the front page, but if this is different, then you can change the bill to. Then you want to establish some defaults. So if right now in the defaults on the header, you can see that the default is set as the email address. But if you wanted to say, you know what, I don't typically email people, I usually phone, then you can phone, and when you save this, you'll see at the header, it changes to the primary contact information. Past orders, this is where you're going to find all the orders in history that are against this customer. Discounts, we will get into when we go through the discounts portion, but this is essentially where you can apply discounts specifically related to the customer to automatically be available to choose from on the discounts list or automatically applied when this customer uses your services. Connectors, this is if you are connecting with currently QuickBooks Online, so you can synchronize this customer with your QuickBooks customer list. And any notes that are added about this customer. So when you add a note, there are different categories, and these categories might pertain to shipping, general communication, billing, shopping preferences, order level. When you add something in here, for example, in the order, you might put a note in here that you want to come up for every single order that this customer has. So let's just do an example of for shipping, which is sort of your pickup and delivery. You could say no parking available. This will notify your in the areas of your order or even scheduling when pickup and delivery or shipping information is pertinent, this note will appear. Okay. So we set up a customer. Let's just save this. Now we'll go and we'll set up an order. Again, when you click on order system, this is a simple order list. When you create an order, you can create either an active order or you can create a quotation. A quotation can always be turned into an order later on, but if you have a customer that's simply looking for a quote over the phone or an estimate, then you can use the quotation and it doesn't interfere with actually creating and using up an order number. So first we're just going to start with an order. You can use different locations, and we'll show you how these locations can be app defaults later when we cover what's called app modes. Right now I'm going to choose Lincoln Park. And these are the number of rugs that you are adding to the system. So what this will do is it will create a list of what we call ghost rugs. You can choose as many as you like. So if an order has, if it's a rug showroom that flooded and they have 120 rugs, you can break it. You can do 120 rugs in an order. It might start to really slow down on you, but for the most part, most orders aren't going to be larger than 20 rugs. So let's put in a modest amount. Let's just say 6. Okay, so we've created this order. This is my order ID. It's in open status. The location is Lincoln Park. It's a cash and carry order. And the reason why it's cash and carry is because my default is set to cash and carry. I'll show you how to change that in the app mode tutorial. The customer, we can search for customer. So let's search for that customer we just created, Boxley. And here are my 6 ghost rugs that I created. As you notice, there are 2 carts in your order. There is this cart and there's the workflow cart. This cart down here is for any item, tangible item or intangible service that is not related to a rug that you brought in. This could be underpad, this could be extra shipping charges, this could be other items that you might sell in your cash and carry area, like stain remover or books or what have you. This is what you're going to be most concerned with when it comes to cleaning. Now that I'm in the order, if I set it up through cash and carry, that means the customer came in the door with 6 rugs, and I just created an order for 6 rugs. Each one of these rugs, they might want a quote on right away, or they might want to just say, here are my 6 rugs, call me with anything or any questions, and then you can issue them a receipt, and then at that point you'd also want to try to apply any services or sell any services. So say, for example, they say, these are all Oriental rugs and we're going to do a standard clean for them all, and the customer also wants them all stain protected. So I'm going to start to apply some services. If I want to apply it to them all, then all of these would be checked. Select a service. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to do standard cleaning for all of them. This is just telling me that each one, with my standard cleaning at $2.25, there's no units right now because we haven't measured each rug, and we want to apply this service. Finish and close. Now you can see that each one of these rugs has cleaning service against them, but it still has a 0 value because this cleaning price is based on a square footage, and we need that square footage in order to know what the quantity is. They might also say, I want to stain guard all of them except number 6. So you can apply services again. Well, you can do it individually if you want to. So on the parent here, you can say available services, and this will just add the service to that one item. Or you can do it by all, and everyone but number 6, and I want to say stain protection, and add into the list. My stain protection price is 55 cents. It's based on square footage, but we don't have our square footage established yet. So now you can see now there's cleaning and stain protection for each of these except number 6. If the customer wants a price right away, or if it has, as it goes through the inspection process, you're going to want to start to add some detail to this in order to generate a price. So for this item here, you're going to want to edit this, and say during the inspection process, you're going to say this is a red, Cara, and the width is 5.7. When you do 5.7, it actually calculates to 5 foot 7 inches to 8.6. Right away, by default, it's saying, do you want to update your service costs? And you say yes. So that means everything that's underneath that item, do you want to update the prices based on the new size? And you say yes. Now you can see that the quantity calculated for each of these is 54 square feet, and each one is now given a price. Okay. Now this might be everything that is required of this order. Obviously you're going to want to inspect all these at some point, and this might be a blue, Herman, 10.2 by 14. And then you can also add other services directly from here, or you can add your inspection notes. Soiled, fringes worn, etc. And you'll see the notes will also start to populate here. If you wanted to print out this work order, you can print out the work order from here, and you'll see everything that has to sort of happen to this order. So you can see for number 1, we have our Bocar red 57 by 86. This is the total revenue for that line item. Then we have an indicator here, and this is where the abbreviations come in for the use of space. In open status, we have cleaning and we have stain protection. As these move through the workflow, you will be able to see whether or not these are in work in progress, or if you don't use a work in progress phase, you'll be able to see that it's completed. This is useful so that you can if you're trying to clear an order, you can hand this work order to anyone in the plant and essentially highlight which items have not yet been completed, and to try to figure out where the item is and what's happening with it. Okay. When these items get completed, the status here can be updated in different ways. You can do it manually by saying this item has been completed, or you can do it by barcode. And we're going to get into barcoding as part of the workflow video. But once all these items in here have been completed, then this order should show that it's flagged for ready. And by ready, it would need someone's review in order for it to be scheduled. If this is a cash and carry order and the customer's been contacted, this is their total. This is when the customer would come in and they want to make a payment. So then you add a payment, choose their payment method, and here's those payment methods that we outlined in the previous video. So they want to pay by Visa. The terminal is cash and carry. I want to get my pending amount, which is $648.49, and I'll add that as a payment amount. Then it's going to ask me to set the delivery date, or are they taking it now? Since this is a cash and carry order, the customer is leaving with their rugs. So the delivery date is now. Then it's going to ask you, what do you want me to do with this order after this information has been posted in the posting journal? And I want you to close this order. Great. So now in my payment history, it shows that this item has been paid and all is good. The next section we're going to discuss are discounts. The discounts available through RugSimple are quite extensive. As you know, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of customers, a big customer base, and a lot of those customers require different discounts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the discount module together here. You can have any number of discounts as you want. You can also bundle discounts together. Let's just create one discount to begin with. So first of all, we're going to call this discount, give this discount a name. This can be the demo discount. Then we want to choose what the value is. So you can choose a percentage, or you can choose a dollar value. So for now, let's just do percentage. Let's say this is 10%. So if it's percent, then my percent should be checked off as active. If this discount is available upon checkout for your sales team when they're creating an order, they have an option to set up the discount to make it editable? Do you want them to be able to edit it? If the answer is yes, then you would check yes. Otherwise, I would say no, my demo discount is always going to be 10%. So it's either 10% or nothing. Then you want to be able to say, is this demo discount linked with a customer? Or is it just available to anybody? Right now, I'm just going to say, no, it's not linked with a customer. Then you need to ask yourself, is it going to be applied to the subtotal of the bill? Or is it going to be applied to an individual line item or sub-item in a line item? So in this case, I'm going to have it applied to a line item. And then you want to say, when all of these criteria are met, do you want me to apply it automatically, or do you want to have to choose it? In this case, I'm going to say, no, don't apply it automatically. I'm going to have to choose it. You can also set a start and end time. So this is when that discount is active and when it ends. So for example, you can have a promotion on Facebook and say, for the next month, we're giving you a Facebook discount of 15% off cleaning, and just mention the ad when you come to the store. In this case, you can set your timestamp as to when these are available so that the actual discount has a sunset event where it's no longer being used, it can no longer be accessed by your staff. So now we have to decide what this gets applied to. So you can do it in one of two ways. You can do it either through a product. So you can choose any product that you have in your products and services list, or you can do it by category. In this case, by treatments, cleaning, appraisals. So in this case, I'm going to choose, this is a cleaning. And there's no subcategory in my cleaning, so it's just cleaning. Okay. That's set up. Now if I go back to my order that I created in the previous example, I have cleaning set up in here. And because I set up the discount with the option to get 10% off, when I go into my available discounts for this line item, it'll show me all the discounts that are available. This is the demo discount that we just set up. It's not editable, so it's grayed out. It shows me what the, well, it's 23 cents off the total value because it's based on the unit price, but that's not what will be calculated once we know the actual size of the rug. And it's giving me two options that are available. So I'm going to give them this option. So this says demo discount 10%, and it's now calculating based on the square footage. So my discount, in this case, that is applied is $12.15. If I chose this discount to be applied automatically, when I added this service, this would automatically pop up. And this is beneficial if you have certain blanket discounts that are always going to appear when your customers do a certain thing. For example, bring in their rugs through a cash and carry service, 20% off if you bring your rug to us, kind of thing. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how that would work with a customer. So I'm going to go back to my discounts, and I'm going to set up a new discount. And I'm going to call this, say, friends and family discount. And I'm going to give friends and family 50% off. And I'm going to have this as a percentage. I'm going to make this, we can do this editable. just in case we want to give a little bit more, possibly to your family. And then what we're going to do is we're going to link this with a customer, and we're going to have it apply automatically. And again, I'm going to do this with my cleaning category. Save that. Now what we have to do is we have to tie this to the actual customer. So I'm going to go back into my customer list, and I'm going to edit. Let's pick a different customer here. Let's pick John Smith. We're going to set up a discount, and when you search the discount name under the customer profile, you'll see only the discounts that are shared with customers. So I'm going to choose friends and family, and it just gives me a breakdown of what it is, and I'm going to add that and save. So now when you go into discounts, you can see that for John Smith, they have a friends and family discount of 50%. So now when we go into our order, we're going to create an order. And we're going to search for Mr. John Smith. And then we're going to add a cleaning discount. So first we have to add the service. Okay, so now you can see when I added the cleaning service, the friends and family discount automatically applied. Right now it's 0 because it's based on the unit cost, and there's no units. So we're going to have to edit this, and when we put in when we edit the rug size, say it's a 5 by 8.4, save. Now you'll see that the unit price has been updated and the discount is $45, which is 50% of the subtotal. The last 4 sections that we're going to take a look at are going to be in separate videos because they require their own video, and it might be a little bit too long to tack onto the end of this video. But the 4 sections are app modes, which is where you would set up in portal settings under app configuration in app modes. So we'll go through what this is and how you can use it. The next one is workflow, which is the sort of movement of product throughout your plant, which we'll also get into setting up your triggers and barcoding. The third one is appraisals. So we'll get into how this works. And then the 4th one is accounting setup. So in this case, getting all connected to QuickBooks Online.